Now, with COVID-19, we are all adapting to the new norm of working from home. So, the next topic is a trading floor experience from every home. Presenting this, we have Sebastian Bird, Head of Adaptive Networks, South Asia, Telstra, and Sam Bednall, Head of Modern Workplace, South Asia, Telstra. Let's welcome the two gentlemen.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. As just mentioned, my name is Sam Bednall. I'm part of Telstra Singapore, and I have my colleague Sebastian Bird presenting alongside me today. We only have 20 minutes with you today, so our agenda is short. We'll talk you through some of the key challenges we're seeing within the industry, especially over the past 10 months whilst we've all had to work from home, and what Telstra is focusing on to address these challenges. We'll then dive a little deeper into the technology that will enable your traders to work from home, covering virtual desktop technology, remote collaboration, and finally compliance. We'll then provide a brief summary and close the session out. So without further ado, I'm going to pass things to Seb to kick things off.
Thanks, Sam. I hope everyone's having a great conference so far. So as was introed, basically the financial world has seen some interesting changes to our working environment with the pandemic. And with that, it's forced a lot of us to work from home, change the way that we go about it, compliance and regulation to be a little bit more lenient for the changes within the world, and then basically just disrupted in general. So Telstra has looked at how we can help the financial industry. Telstra's been working with global FSI customers for over 70 years internationally. We've been in 27 different countries, and we basically are a telco provider that provides and leverages off the back of our vast network around the world. So from that, we looked at turning around and focusing on three major areas. Now, those three major areas were to see how we can help businesses find new growth, new revenue, and differentiate. We wanted to make sure that they were able and enabled to work from home. It's very interesting how we've seen traders trying to get into the office within the four walls, but not being able to have the same experience when they're at home. And that is a really big driver for the way that we put solution sets together for us, for you guys as well. The other major thing is we wanted to make sure that everything was compliant. See, compliance is key, whether you're in the office, the four walls, or whether you're at home itself. And making sure you have a single pane of view of that is absolutely imperative. So basically pulling those together, we have Telstra's financial solutions offering. That solutions offering basically enables your traders to have the same experience that they would otherwise in the office. So the interesting thing around what's been happening with this and what we have seen is we've seen troubles in regards to torrent systems not being available in someone's home. We've seen issues around how do we turn around and enable a secure environment for those traders, and also how do we, basically make sure that that whole environment works seamlessly so that the work can be complete. So from that, what we've also seen is that we wanted to leverage off the network and basically make sure that the interconnectivity between what was happening was fast and low latency. So we have leveraged off that for our networks as well. Now, the three major pillars that we're focusing on today, and I'll have Sam run us through, is very much wrapped around VDI. So making sure we can pull the desktop experience from the office into the trader's home. The second one is very much wrapped around the collaboration, whether it's on Trader Voice or whether it's on Teams or any other video conferencing solution. And then making sure that all that is completely compliant, making sure that the regulation and risk teams can see what's happening, whether your trader is at home or external. So what I'll do is I'll hand to Sam to turn around and go through those individual three items, and we'll go a little bit in depth in the technology that Telstra is providing for financial trading and FSI businesses throughout the globe.
Thanks, Seb. The technology challenges facing trading floors range from the management of devices to the delivery of real-time content to maintaining a unified user experience. Trading solutions are no longer limited to the deployment of physical workstations for each trader. And in fact, the evolution of virtual desktop infrastructure is now much more practical from management, agility, environmental, and economical perspectives. Modern day trading floors are now very different to what they once were. Upward trends in computing, data distribution, and automated trading techniques have placed IT at the core of these environments. Trading floors are now a focus area of IT innovation, where latency is king and where even a few minutes of downtime can result in multi-million-dollar losses. With these unique challenges, organizations can benefit from virtual desktop infrastructure, which is the practice of hosting a desktop operating system within a virtual machine running on a centralized server, with users accessing this virtual environment through any endpoint device. When assessing how best to adapt their IT strategy, there are a number of areas financial trading houses should consider. The practical challenge of providing traders with tools they need to do their job is relative to the provisioning of monitors and applications. The traders do not care where the infrastructure is located, as long as they have access to the applications providing the network necessary research, market data, and trades when they need it. Software deployment presents another significant challenge for IT. Traders use customized application sets for news monitoring, price analysis, communication, amongst a range of other purposes. Deploying and updating these manually across an extensive variety of devices is time intensive and adds further weight to the IT management workload. With virtual desktops, all software deployments and updates are administrative centrally, enabling a complex web of applications to be coordinated from a single system. Not only does this reduce time spent on standard operational tasks, but also enables IT teams to focus on innovation. Milliseconds matter in volatile trading floor environments, with traders simultaneously viewing real-time market data, real-time graphics, and streaming audio-video content. The stress on a trader workstations is immense. So being able to scale when you need to from a central location is incredibly important. With VDI, workstations are moved to the data center and can but don't need to be replaced by location agnostic thin clients, which are centrally configured, eliminating the need for members of the IT team to visit the user's desks. Utilizing thin clients improves reliability, and in the case of moves, adds, and changes, enables immediate reconfiguration, getting the trader back online and sustaining invaluable uptime. And finally, improved security. Amongst the IT management issues regularly faced by financial institutions, security is likely at the top of the list. The data protection regulations continue to tighten, and malware techniques become more varied. Monitoring endpoints and storage methods become a business necessity. For trading houses handling market-sensitive information, this level of protection is nothing new. And many organizations already utilize virtual desktops to remain aware of where their data resides and how it's communicated both internally and externally. With all of the data held in the data center, information is secure and reporting and auditing is more straightforward. Telstra's financial trading VDI solution has been created to enable financial traders to work from anywhere. With our reference architecture and Citrix solutions in place, traders no longer have downtimes during peak trading times and zero delays in pushing out market data to remote locations. Moving on to remote collaboration. The uptake of cloud-based collaboration tools and teamwork tools has exploded over the past year, obviously accelerated by the requirements to move from home. Microsoft Teams is Microsoft's most rapidly adopted product, and at the end of this month, they have over 115 million daily active users. Microsoft Teams can act as a single client hub for most of your business workloads, including enterprise telephony. And Telstra has been working with Microsoft to launch Telstra Calling for Microsoft Teams. Telstra Calling for Microsoft Teams provides the underlying infrastructure and voice services to integrate our customers' Office 365 environment with the global public switch telephone network, or PSTN. And many of our banking and financial services customers are adopting this platform. Microsoft Teams provides enterprise-class voice services, which can be provided over any device from any location. However, for customers that require recording for compliance, the traditional way of voice recording is no longer relevant. FSI customers have required the activities of their traders and often other parts of their business to be recorded for compliance purposes. However, historically, the voice component has been either captured at a network layer via port mirroring or other on-premise infrastructure. If the end user is working from their home office, these recording methods are no longer suitable. So the ability to record at the cloud communication source is critical. Microsoft have recently released the APIs and software development guidance for their recording partner ecosystem to build recording bots, which can automatically be introduced into a communications channel via policy to record all communication modalities within that session, whether it be messaging, voice, video, and even desktop sharing. These recording files can then be sorted and processed in locations that cannot be tampered with, aggregated with the other data sources, and then advanced analytics can be performed to automate certain compliance activities. Telstra has chosen to partner with Insightful Technology for our offering in this space, and we'll cover more about their Soteria platform in a few minutes. I'll now pass it back over to Seb to talk about Trader Voice SIP Connect.
Thanks, Sam. It's interesting, this Trader Voice itself, it's very much been an area which is don't touch if not broken. It's an area that has been very legacy as the times have gone by, and not really touched, not really adapted and changed so much in regards to how that environment is. So Telstra has been working with our partners to create what we call Trader Voice SIP Connect. Now, Trader Voice SIP Connect kind of addresses some of the market challenges. You know, major thing being COVID has had the need to change beyond the traditional BCP scenarios. So that work from home component that I talked about. The current day trading platforms are office bound and dependent on fixed and private wire connectivity between Trader Voice for turret to turret. And this is very much legacy E1 and private wires themselves. We see that traders are moving towards IP turrets, but they still rely on those private wire and office-based gateway infrastructure rather than leveraging off a large network like a telco's. We see legacy private wire solutions are generally expensive and priced on distance between locations. And legacy trading platforms are not able to incorporate PSTN-based connections and support compliance as needed. We natively integrate private wires into our carrier network. That's the major thing that Telstra does here. We want to leverage off what we have internationally and be able to turn around and distribute it for all individual traders wherever they are. We have a global telecommunications license, which means we can provide a connectivity to any telephony point, whether it's mobile, PSTN, or private, and still move those feature sets that you would otherwise have on a turret across. I do need to stress that we are not a turrets provider. We are a connectivity provider for turrets. And what that means is you can actually you can integrate turrets with private turret systems with disparate turret systems or private wires providers. So it means that we actually integrate between the two. We make sure that hoot and holler and three-way bridging is definitely available on those sets as well. We make sure we have support for TDM and SIP-based connectivity for these sites, and obviously that global reach, as I mentioned before. In regards to our billing systems, we like to change in that space as well. We're looking at consumption-based. We're not looking at length. And if we look at how the worlds are changing and more markets opening up and where traders are going to be positioned, you want to be more considerable around what's happening from a consumption perspective, so rather than paying for the distance itself. As I mentioned before, we want to leverage off existing turret infrastructure. We see a lot of the new providers coming in and with their cloud-based solution sets, and we are integrated into those cloud-based solution sets. But if you're taking the step to go from your current invested turret system and you want to move towards something in the future, this is a really good medium to turn around and enable that platform to be a part of the larger one. All our Trader Voice gateways are in key locations around the world. We started off with Singapore in the US, and we have the UK planned for 2021. Trunk side recording is available on both our compliance engine and also locally on our network to make sure we cover off the needs of the individual compliance regulations. But it's a big thing that Telstra is doing here, because we see that this market has been very much closed and not touched. We want to make sure that we're providing connectivity point to point that is flexible and agile enough to turn around and make sure that your current experience and your trader voice experience is leading edge and not legacy. So I would like to turn around and move on towards our compliance platform. And this is a big thing. With the move towards working from home, all systems, all corporate-owned systems, and the compliance and regulation that was wrapped around that needed to be looked at. Because you are not regulating within the four walls of a business anymore, it means need to make sure that every system that you have was being recorded and surveilled as much as possible. So that is everything from email systems, that is everything from what's happening on trading booking systems, making sure that your PBX is recorded, making sure WhatsApp and WeChat and all the other interesting communication platforms are absolutely maintained. And as Sam was mentioning before, with a high adoption of Microsoft Teams and Zoom, there's also requirements now to start recording on SaaS-based product sets. That means recording Teams, and also the need to record video, because when recording video, we need to make sure that there's nothing within that video that is text that may otherwise be alerted or an email. So it's very important that the compliance systems are integrated into one single pane of glass. So I'll flash up a slide that shows you that it's interesting. This would be probably the picture of most companies at the moment for what the systems that they have and what they're trying to record. Everything from their torrents, their PBX, their mobile, their email, what's happening on the socials, what's happening on the IM chats, and then also what's happening within the news feeds that are coming in from the Reuters, the Bloombergs, the NASDAQs, etc. These all go into separate systems. These separate systems are provided from a plethora of FSI technology providers. And unfortunately, they all have to be separately administered. We need to make sure that when you're checking what we're recording and we're running a case for a trader, that if you need your recordings for your PBX, you might be into your recorder for that platform. Or if you need to turn around and check your email recording platform, you need to go to a separate one. And there's someone that's generally pulled together and not pulling that as one. So there's someone that is pulling that together as one big case. Now, from that, we identify the need for a single pane of glass view. So Telstra has worked with a company called Soteria to provide a platform, provide the platform Soteria that basically gives you that single pane of glass with case management, alerting, transcription, everything that is required to make sure that you are fully compliant, whether your trader or compliant user is at home, on the road, or even in the office. So we turn around and make sure that we have a golden source of truth within that case management that is pulling in each individual communication that comes from each individual product throughout the business. It pulls it into the single source golden source platform, and then turns around and makes sure it matches that to what is happening in regards to 24/7 live feeds. So if there is a trade that has been made, that can turn around and spark an automatic recording of every communication that was happening a day and 2 days after the fact, pushing that as a complete package and laying that out to the compliance officer or regulation team if needed. And then once this is all wrapped together, it means that wrapping this up and putting it forward to your traders is simply, so to your regulation teams is simple. You download out of this platform, make sure it's completely aligned to what is happening within your case and wherever that person was when it happened. So we find this to be a very, very powerful system and actually a major key to the work from home scenario that we also were pitching about. We had a lot around our Trader Voice SIP Connect and making sure we can extend the torrent in. We had a lot around turning around and making sure that you have the collaboration tools, and then also your desktop that is on your phone. But we find that compliance needs to tie this all together. There's no way that you can turn around and push onto separate systems and not be compliant. And that is the major thing that we push with this platform. So I will let Sam sum up what we've been talking about today. And I thank you all.
Thanks, Seb. So just to close, Telstra is a proudly Australian telecommunications and technology company, but we've been operating internationally for decades. We believe the more connected people are, the more opportunities they have. And that's why we bring innovative technology, capability, and talent from around the world to help businesses create connected futures. We're very active in the banking and financial sector. So if you'd like to understand more around our services and solution offerings, please come and visit us in our virtual booth and connect with us through this wonderful platform that the event is being delivered over. Thank you for your time today, and we hope you're enjoying the event. Thank you.